boys and girls, to another episode of Kayfabe Comparisons. My name is Mr. Knowitall, Daniel John Schafer, and I am joined here once again by the rest of the Kayfabe crew and special guest. Introducing first, he is the king of the Kayfabe kickflip, Mr. Wex breaking the Lawson. Wex, how we living today, bud?
And living the best we can. Work's been pissing me off. Got some shitty employees, but besides that, we're talking some wrestling. I'm looking forward to this.
Talking some wrestling, indeed. It's one of the most wonderful times of the year. Joining us, as always, the spectacular Vernacular himself, Mr. Jesse Baker. How you doing, bud?
Oh, man, just living and kicking it and been watching, Royal Rumble. That's what we're here to talk about today. It was an experience, that's for damn sure. I've been watching a bunch of the old Royal Rumbles, too, though. Like, it just got me back in the format of that match. So that's just been my passive watching stuff. And I got to say, I love it. I'm always going to.
I love it. And with us, our very special guest, now recurring cast member here, Miss Jessica Rosenberg. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome.
I'm excited. It's the Royal Rumble. It was something. There's a lot of meat on the bone to talk about. I've heard overwhelming good reviews of it. I've heard very, very bad reviews of it. So I'm sure that we're going to be all over the spectrum here today. But before we get into the meat and the taters, Wexley, we got any tea that we need to talk about? Any juice? Any dirt?
I mean, there's not really much on the docket besides like Royal Rumble stuff. The ongoing Vince McMahon saga. He's apparently been back in the office, as we heard, and apparently Triple H said it's been great that he's been back, which I guess maybe he's really staying away at the moment, not really fucking with what Triple H is doing. So maybe that's a good sign of things to come.
That's hopeful for sure.
We can only hope. There was another lawsuit that was reported today.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Out of the state of Delaware. It was another investor, and I guess Delaware's state law opens them up for a certain breach of discovery that other states don't. So they're requesting certain documents by the WWE to divulge, like, where hush money came from, how it was determined, yada, yada, yada. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure McDivitt will nip it in the bud and it doesn't have a prayer, but it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also did see that NitCon is trying to basically monetize ring post, apron, everything, mats, just to, like, for sponsorships and stuff, and that there is going to definitely be another sponsorship match at WrestleMania, like the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match, which I thought fucking sucked, which we'll get into. But
yeah, I mean, hey, it's going to be Bray Wyatt's future. The WWE He's just shilling fucking stoner sodas and chips and shit.
Don't
put that evil on him. No.
We'll get into that, but yeah, NitCon's really looking to monetize that shit. So it seems more evident like the sale is going to happen because they're just trying to milk as much as they can out of it.
Yeah, I mean, you get that value up. You get your ROI, and then you get a shit ton of money. Plus, from what I understand, NitCon stands to make a pretty decent commission on whatever sale actually goes through. So he's trying to fucking drive that fucker all the way up.
Yeah, definitely.
His payday is going to be huge.
Definitely. Also, I know that Jesse brought it up before we went live here, but Lanny Poffo has apparently passed away. The genius.
Yeah. Rest in peace. Leaping Lanny Poffo, the genius.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. I listened to a show called The Kings of the Ring. It's a audio drama podcast. It's fantastic. They're on season, I think, 3 or 4 now. If you get a chance, you go check it out. It's a really good audio drama, and it's all about 80s pro wrestling. And Lanny had just recently joined the voice cast, so really bummed I'm not going to get to see him explore that character because he has such a very unique and recognizable voice. His voice, I feel like, is pretty much his whole gimmick. So yeah, rest in peace, Sleeping Lanny, man. What a magic trick that man could perform.
That's true.
But there we are. All right, man. Let's just go ahead and get into it. We got 4 voices on here. We got lots to say. Let's dive right into my favorite show of the year. We're going to kick this thing off right, and we're going to go ladies first here, right? So the opening match is the men's Royal Rumble match. How did you feel about this? It was about an hour and 10 minutes long. Pretty long for a Royal Rumble. So what'd you think, Miss Jessica Rosenberg?
I think my favorite part about it is all of the male wrestling marks were like, the men are going first, and they were like really upset about it. So that was genius to me. I was, just drinking salty Mark tears the entire time, just living it up on Twitter, watching the match. So I that was my personal favorite aspect of it, because it was such a huge change, because you're not really used to that happening, because it's usually the main event, because it's like that's literally what it began as.
Yeah. So the show's named after. Yeah.
Exactly. Literally. Yeah. It was a little surprising, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you guys just want to talk about, do you want to break down each match, or do you want to, or like each bit of the Rumble? Like, who was your favorite entrance? Like, who did you think was going to and that wasn't going to?
Yeah. I mean, for me, I mean, I've been on the Cody train for months and months and months. So to me, like, and it was predictable. I can understand that, like, the argument, it's like so cheesy, it's so predictable. But, like, dude, sometimes in pro wrestling, sometimes predictable is not bad. Sometimes, like, just the gold at the end of the rainbow, we all know where it's going to land, but it's still worth it. Like, when you get it, it's still worth it. And I think that's what this was. Like, I was underwhelmed by these surprises. Booker T looked horrible, and that hurt. I mean, he was the only real surprise. I mean, they had, like, Elias come back, but, like, nobody gives a shit at this point. Like, that poor guy's just made of glass. It's going to be 3 or 4 months before he gets hurt again. And, it's just, I don't know. I was a little underwhelmed by, like, the entrance, but I think that the booking was good. That's my take on it.
I think that for me, like, having Gunther and then Sheamus be 1 and 2, and literally have Gunther, and, like, I was so impressed. For me, Gunther was always kind of like but then like the more like slappy matches, him and Sheamus together, magic in the ring. Yeah. So that was cool to see them last so long. And I haven't really kept up with Gunther. For me, like, when I stepped away from WWE and wrestling and came back, I didn't really know who he was, but he's a fat kid. Like, he's a former fat kid. And that just, like, people were like posting his photos, and I was like, look at this dude. And he lasted that long. Like, I mean, that was cool for me. I was really stoked about that.
Yeah. Yeah. He I mean, honestly, it elevated the Intercontinental title too, because, I mean, it's really smart booking. I think they booked him really, really well in the match for sure.
Absolutely.
I'd say that really when you look at it, I mean, Gunther being in there and breaking the duration record was certainly a highlight. It was interesting the way that they, you've done 1 and 2. And when you really look at it, number 1 and number 2 are the same. Yeah. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like it wouldn't really matter. But I was wondering how long they were going to keep Sheamus in there. He lasted a good long time. But, like, there's so much cannon fodder in terms of the entrance that I felt like some of the storyline stuff could have been spiced up a little bit by a handful of other people. But it was just kind of, like, I didn't need – who gives a shit about Otis and fucking Gable? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I could have done without all those spots. It would not have mattered one lick if they weren't in that match. But you got to have some of those. There wasn't really a big quote unquote diesel spot this year.
Yeah.
I mean, Lesnar got a handful of eliminations, but there are a couple of people that got a handful of eliminations, but there wasn't that one standout, like, knock everybody out of the fucking ring all at once, like a freight train guy.
Right.
Which I thought was interesting booking. There were just several of them. My favorite part about it is that Lesnar's elimination has become its own Royal Rumble bit now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, when he gets knocked out, that's the moment where everybody's like, all right, well, now we know it's not Lesnar, but you're looking for who did it and how it happened and yada, 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 because obviously
it's going to lead to something.
Yeah, totally. Which, I could care less, but it's like one of those weird things. What I wonder is, coming out of Mania, I agree with the Cody thing 100%. I think everybody kind of knew that good smart money was on Cody, and I don't mind that one bit. I think the way that they did it by having him, I'm kind of surprised that they didn't give him the workhorse position and have him go the whole hour, because that's kind of where I figured they would go with that, just because of the entrance and the whole thing. Right. But, they did what they did. It was interesting. They had their own little, like, what was it? They went a solid, like, 12 to 15 minutes after just hitting Gunther. You know what I
mean? Yeah.
Which I thought was great. Yeah, you got a lot of Sports Illustrated moments out of, especially the Logan Paul Ricochet thing, that whole bit.
That was really sick.
That was awesome.
Carmelo Hayes clearly threw some shade on that from his When Worlds Collide bit with Ricochet, where they did like springboard crossbodies around each other in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember seeing him tweet that he hoped he would get some kind of royalties out of the Logan Paul spot, which I thought was kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, all in all, there's a lot of stuff to write home about. It makes me wonder where the IC championship stands for Mania, though. Like, there are a lot of very clear-cut angles, but the thing with Gunther, very much not. So I'm hoping that they do something good with the IC title and that it's not just some like bullshit tag orchestration deal or something like that. But I got to say, I mean, overall, I enjoyed it. I hate that Kofi botched his elimination spot, though.
Yeah, that sucks.
And apparently injured, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks so rough.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I will say the best side story out of the Royal Rumble is easily going to be Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. That match is going to be fire. It's going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
I think it's great for Rollins too, you know?
Back
and like actually have something that's going to be that high in just the regular, like non-WWE social media limelight.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. It's like if you're not going to be in the main event, that's the best possible spot to be. Like, he's happy with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not going to win the title. I don't think he's upset. And also, I mean, dude, look, I don't like Logan Paul as a person. I mean, I don't think many people do. But like, you can't deny his in-ring ability, especially for being like 3 matches in or something.
He's annoyingly good.
Yeah, annoying.
Yeah,
that's the right way to say it.
He's annoyingly good.
And I love that they're leaning into heel. Like, because at first they try to make him a babyface, and now they're fine. It's like, and it's just gonna be so hot. Like, I think
so fucking automatically dislikable.
Yes.
You know, he's got that. Him and Heyman both are probably the most like just instantly dislikable people I've ever seen on camera.
Yeah. Wex, what was your overview?
The Rumble wasn't horrible. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst Rumble of all time. I do agree with Cody winning. Like you said, we knew we were going to see that. Walter going fucking forever, breaking the record. Like, he's going to be he's a stud. I've known he was a stud ever since fucking his NXT UK championship run. Like, he's a badass motherfucker. And
Walter,
crazy. Like you talked about the Lesnar spot. You know, afterwards when he got mad and started fucking shit up, that wasn't supposed to happen. No one knew he was going to do any of that, especially tossing the referee, because that ref was actually supposed to raise Cody's hand, but he legitimately hurt his foot.
Yeah.
And Lesnar got a bunch of heat for doing all that because nobody knew he was going to do it. They told him to be frustrated, but he just went all out.
He
like, really started fucking shit up.
Yeah.
I imagine Brock Lesnar only gets so much backstage heat at a certain point.
Yeah, it's like he gets heat, but like no one's really going to do anything about it.
No. It's going to be him and Lashley at Lesnar, and they're going to be a mid-card somewhere, and he's going to make a lot of money for not bringing a whole lot of people in, but it is what it is.
I'm so tired of that story.
Yeah, nobody gives a shit about that.
And we got all this fucking hype for the Rumble that like all these people are going to show up, like The Rock and stuff, and like I was kind of thought that maybe Cody might get booed because it wasn't The Rock or something, but people fucking went off for Cody.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was right. It was the right thing to do. Right booking for sure.
But
the match itself opening is different, but I thought it was good because I was getting a little buzz going. I was like, oh shit, the Rumble's starting. First match, fuck yeah, let's go, let's do it.
Yeah.
There's only 29 guys though.
Oh yeah.
Rey Mysterio never came out. And Booker T tried to say he took Mysterio's spot, but no one ever replaced him.
Usually with a bit like that, they have somebody else come in and do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
or Ray's gonna make a claim that he never got eliminated.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how they're gonna play that, but he got injured at a house show, so that's why he couldn't be in the Rumble.
Yeah, but I mean, they could have written around that a billion different fucking ways. Like,
what they decided to do was do the whole have Dominic come in with his mask and play it off that way to continue that like father-son feud. So I don't know how they're going to play it off like into the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we'll see.
Lots of there was nobody backstage that could just go in instead. You know what I mean? Like
right. I mean, I think we're going to end up seeing the Brood versus the Judgment Day at Mania. I genuinely believe
that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
I think that's going to happen, and I'm here for that. That'd be cool. They can definitely protect old Gangrel. Just give him a hot tag.
Gangrel's not bad though. He can still fucking go.
No, I know, but I mean, like, come on. It's not. He can't. I mean, he can't Finn Balor go. He can't.
Fanging and banging.
I mean, he can't Dominic Mysterio go. I mean, Dominic's not bad. Like, he's a pretty good wrestler.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll put him in there with Damian Priest for sure. They both have that old '90s style. But let's keep it trucking here. Let's get to. I think we're going to unanimously just poo-poo all over this one, but it's Bray Wyatt versus LA Knight in a Mountain Dew pitch black match. And there's like confetti in the announcer's table for some reason or something like that. Like
Mountain
it's literally
Dew
like
Day-Glow match.
Yeah, what is happening? I feel like this is like Naomi like gimmick infringement too. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
100%. Like
so weird.
This was fucking a Laser Quest Saturday night. This was Cosmic Golf Opry Mills pre-flood. This was it's fucking
Pre-flood.
This was the blacklight section at Spencer's. This fucking sucked. I
Saturday night
who
at the Brentwood Skate Center.
and they said it looked cool live, but
Bro.
it did not translate on TV.
I mean,
It was garbage.
I don't even get. It's like, does this thing sell merch? You know what I mean? Like, is this the kind of thing where kids are going to want the neon Bray Wyatt toy? I don't think so.
I think Mountain Dew paid a lot of money for the spot. I think they
I'm
paid
sure
for
they
it, and
fucking-
so
I
I
ain't
think
buying pitch black or regular Mountain Dew for that matter.
no.
I like
Baja
that.
Blast is superior anyway.
Yeah, if you're gonna have it, it's gonna have to be from a fountain, and it's gonna have to be from Taco Bell, and it's gonna have to be after midnight. That's the only
Baja
option.
Blast. That's the only Mountain Dew that's acceptable to drink.
We
Period.
all know. None of it. We're all sophisticated here. There's none of us that are plebs here. All right. We all know when it's time for Baja. All right.
Exactly.
I think it got Twitter was really going off
Yeah.
on how like, oh, they stole from Naomi. How come Naomi never got a glow in the dark match? And like, everybody was like, she better be coming, to the Rumble and shit like that. And like, so Twitter was really missing Naomi.
Yeah.
I didn't catch that wave at all, but all I caught was everybody shitting all over this match. Like, I mean, it was
That too.
it was barely a match even. Like the finish of the actual bell to bell was dog shit.
Yeah.
Oh, and that fucking dive off the top, he completely fucking missed. It was like
Bo
Shane
Dallas
McMahon.
just completely
cane,
messed
like,
that up. He did not believe. He did
nowhere
not believe.
close.
They were like,
That is
Shane
confirmed, by
O'Mac
the way.
is.
It's confirmed that it is Bo Dallas
Yeah.
as Uncle Howdy. That's confirmed. So
It's just one of those things of like, how with a spot with a crash pad from that high, how does that get that botched? Like,
Because it's dark and he was wearing a fucking mask and he couldn't see anything.
bullshit.
It's a pitch black
LA
mask, man.
LA Knight was in goddamn neon green, dude. You fucking
yeah, I don't know. I mean,
air traffic controller shit.
they've got to just stop messing with the lighting, man. Like, find a different way. Be just more creative. Like, even if just make it a cinematic match, that would have been better. Cinematic would have been better. Like,
And that's Bray Wyatt's first match in almost 2 years, and it fucking sucked.
and that's the thing too, is that like it wasn't so like this is exactly like the Red Hell in a Cell match where it's like the actual match, like the two wrestlers are not bad at wrestling. Like it sucked because of the visual. Like, I mean, I don't remember a good spot in the match because everything looked so stupid. But I also didn't notice them like wrestling poorly at all.
I remember there was confetti.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like I remember the stupid shit. Like
I don't think anybody booked that match. Like if anybody agented that match, they should be fucking fired because there was not really anything that happened, and the finish was flat as a fucking plate full of piss. It was absolutely terrible. LA Knight, though, should not get this rubbed all over him. Like he should be able to get out of this because
I don't think it's Bray should either. Honestly,
They must have got paid a lot of money to agree to do this.
Yes,
like they must have got a
agree.
fucking bonus out the ass from Mountain Dew.
I don't know, man.
100% advertisement spot. Like,
I'm just saying WWE can point and shoot and tell you what to do, and that's about what you got to do. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't think that
WrestleMania is going to be another red Hell in a Cell match. Bray Wyatt versus R-Truth, and it's going to be the Mountain Dew Code Red Hell in a Cell.
Oh, I like that. I like that actually.
Lance
But they have to
Storm
have
and,
like
Lance Storm previously theorized on Twitter that the Pitch Black match, before we knew what it was going to be like the Mimosa Mayhem match, except it was just going to be vats of Mountain Dew. And I'm like, that's way better.
That's way better, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, toss your opponent in Mountain Dew to win. I would be way more up with that than fucking pitch black neon lights asshole bullshit.
It's silly. I mean, I really hope that this is the end of the LA Knight Bray Wyatt thing, because that was just obviously a miss to book them together anyway. Because listen
hope,
again, I like LA Knight.
History does not say that. It says it's going to be another 3 months, but we'll see.
This wasn't the right person. I mean, honestly, it should have been like a bigger heel. Like, it should have just been like I don't know. Like, honestly, Lashley, I feel like would have been better than like it doesn't, or even like Lesnar. That would have been great. Have him beat Lesnar, like right out of the gate.
Dude, if Lesnar heard the pitch for this match, he'd be like, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah, that would never happen. It'd be a regular match, and it would be fantastic. I guarantee that match, like bell to bell, Lesnar versus Wyatt would be sick.
Oh yeah,
it would be really good.
No gimmicks. It'd have been great.
Yeah.
And that's what I was thinking. It's like, who do you even put with Wyatt? Like, he's so unique, like character wise, good wrestler, but it's like, who in WWE right now makes sense to have a feud or to like
T-bar
go toe to toe?
Yeah, they've already turned him back into Dijak. He's back on NXT, bro.
Oh well, Dijak. Well, then there we go. But you could put him against I don't know. What's his name? Elias.
I mean, at least LA Knight has something. You know what I'm saying? Like, LA Knight is semi-over. Like,
dude, despite the fact
I don't know how though.
Put him against his former.
He's a great talker.
Wyatt family stablemate Braun Strowman, since he's back.
That would have been great. I think that would have been great.
Yeah, have him bury some Braun Strowman, because that's great.
Bury Braun. Yeah, that would have been great. It should have been somebody that had some kind of value that he could just bury right out. And I don't think
that has a connection that makes sense to his character.
But LA Knight was so charismatic. I
actually really wish that had happened.
I think LA Knight's so charismatic that in the lead up that I really don't think he's hurt that bad from losing this match, like at all.
Nah,
I think he's hurt by being.
They both are equally hurt from being involved with this match.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely don't think it has to do with wins and losses on this one, because I doubt most people even fucking remember exactly what happened, except for some dumbass leapt off something and missed a guy and they blew some fireworks up. Like, that's pretty much the takeaway.
This is gonna be remembered like that exploding barbed wire death match in AEW. It was just like it could have been cool, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it is. This was definitely hands down not a good moment at all. It makes me regret kind of trying to build up the card around the Royal Rumble, because in past Royal Rumbles, the card, aside from the Rumble matches, has been good. And my dumb ass had to be like, oh, the rest of the card might actually be good. And then this follows the Rumble directly.
This is a pretty big – yeah.
And then
but let's go ahead and move on to the next one.
Yeah, let's move on to the next match here. It's Bianca Belair defeating Alexa Bliss. They got about 7.5 minutes. It wasn't very long. And that's the best thing I think I can say about it. I don't think that the chemistry between them is just there. I don't think Alexa is at a point to be in this kind of match. We know that Bianca can make sweet music when she has the right dance partner, and Alexa has had some good matches with the right opponent, but I don't think either one of them is at a place in their career where they can. It was just a styles clash, man. It's like peanut butter and I don't know.
Yeah, they'd have that chemistry. That shit did not mesh well, and Alexa. I don't know. We know Bianca Belair is good, but Alexa, I don't know if, like you said, I don't know if she's ready for this type of spot at this moment.
I think she's definitely peaked already. I think she's had her time when she was already the best she was going to be in the ring, and that was about 4 or 5 years ago. And she was pretty good then, but she's got a couple of injuries. She's gone through this terrible gimmick. I'm pretty sure she's phoned. I don't know her as a person. I'm not going to try to imply that she's phoning it in, but it feels like her character is being phoned in. Not like her as a performer, but like she's definitely back burner as far as the writers are concerned. And it's like they just have to have somebody to go up in a title match, and she has enough of a name, but there's not really a real angle there. And she's like kind of not really a heel. She's still a baby face, and Bianca's a baby face, and it just didn't work. Like there's no heat in the match because neither one of them wanted to get heat. So it just felt awkward. It felt like this weird ping pong match the whole time.
I feel like she should have turned at that point.
Yeah.
Like mid-match.
Yeah.
And that's fully what I was expecting. But then in the Women's Rumble, you had literally Asuka coming out in her murder clown face. So it's like, did you guys have to like say, okay, Alexa, we can't do this right now because we really want to see this from Asuka, you know? So it's like you can't have like two turns in the same like pay-per-view, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
I just think there's no character development to Alexa Bliss in years.
Right.
Like, zero. I mean, she's just like crazy girl on the swing set, and that doesn't go very far.
Yeah.
There's nothing to care about.
Yeah, I agree.
She sucks right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, there has to be some sort of level up from that.
Yeah, and honestly, to me, it's diminishing Bianca Belair's title reign. Like, I feel like the value of the title is going down when you have such a mismatch at a major show like this, and you only give them less than 10 minutes, and then, I mean, and it just isn't good. It's like it doesn't put any value on your championship at that point.
Yeah, you easily could have just not had a title match.
Yeah. Like, I genuinely would have I think it would have been better for her title reign to just not even be on the Rumble at all than to have had this match, genuinely. Yeah. And that sucks.
Do commentary on the Women's Rumble or something. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, be on the show. Like, get your shine. And then the next match is the Women's Rumble. I mean, the only real notable spot to me was I thought the Michelle McCool stuff was decent. I don't think it was a nice little pop. I don't think, you've never seen, like, I think her kids, like, freaked out because they didn't think it was happening. And so to me, it's like more of an inside, like, thing. And it's like, that's cool. Like, I enjoyed that part of it. The rest of the match was pretty predictable. But I don't think it was as booked nearly as strong as the men's Rumble match was. Like, there were no side stories really being told in the Rumble. It's just elimination after elimination for no real rhyme or reason. I mean,
we got Chelsea Green making her return.
Yeah. And the immediate elimination there is fine. But wasn't it like Tamina? Like, are we gonna you could have at least put it? It should have been somebody else that you can actually make an angle with right away. You know what I mean? Like Tamina? Like, no, like, why? What? Who? Why? Like, that's just a terrible idea. Terrible idea. I mean, I thought that the Rhea and Liv ending was pretty decent, and like, think Rhea Ripley, getting the win makes the most sense.
Oh yeah, that was really cool. I like that.
Yeah, and I think I liked the fake out. And Liv is bigger now than she's been, but she shouldn't have been the one to win it. And I'm glad. I think both the Rumble winners were booked well. This one, the actual match itself, wasn't booked nearly as strong as the men's match was. But it is what it is. I didn't hate it. But it was not great. It was just lukewarm for me. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great. It was just kind of in the middle. That's where I am with it. Jessica, what'd you think?
Piper looked amazing. She got her name back.
Agreed.
That was great.
So good.
Yeah.
I am so excited. I think one of my favorite bits that I saw on Twitter was two meaty ma'ams.
Ooh, I like that.
And I was like, oh, this is good. This is good. That really cracked me up. And I agree with Rhea. I think it was good to have so many of the NXT women involved. Because honestly, NXT needs it. They need
to push.
They need anything they can get.
Yes. And it was cool because for a lot of it, I'm like, oh, now I know who this person is. Obviously, Nikki Cross, full speed, just like wild skirting. That was amazing.
Ultimate Warrior run.
Yeah, Ultimate Warrior run, straight up.
Oh yeah.
The legs and everything. Just the way they run.
Didn't even get her jacket off, just full on. And then when she was like slapping it a few times, that was really great.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that a lot. And then I know people are super conflicted about Nia Jax coming back. So I figured we'd probably talk about that because you guys have a lot to say about her. So what do you think about Miss My Hole coming back?
That went over like a fart in church for me, but
yeah, I mean, like, I don't hate it. I just
I don't 30
know why.
though, like,
I just don't know why.
30.
Yeah. I mean,
fart church. It's just like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
I think they're maybe testing the water, and I don't think that they got the response that they wanted to get, for sure.
Yeah.
I think they were expecting a much bigger.
Some more people.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not. Yeah, I mean,
hey, don't forget, she's not like most girls. So
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's true. She's the only one that didn't get a countdown, so she isn't like most girls. They fucked that.
Yeah, they
all the way up.
botched the fuck out of that one.
Yeah, it just wasn't. Yeah, wasn't great.
And
Jesse, what do you got?
they were like, fuck it. She could just go out there.
I just don't like. To me, there are two intrinsic problems. One of which was I gotta say, like the NXT stuff. Just they should have done something more with. In my opinion, they should have showcased some of the NXT girls that were coming on the main roster shows in vignettes leading up to the Rumble. Give a little bit of familiarity and a little bit of backstory. Maybe give somebody a reason to watch NXT to see, hey, this girl's going to be in the Rumble, and I'd like to know who the fuck she is. To me, it just suffered from audience like complete lack of interest.
Yeah.
And I mean that was a lot of the match, frankly. But the other part of it is. Yeah. In the women's division in the WWE, there's so much that's they focused on the fucking tag titles for so long, which never meant jack shit, let's be honest. And then there's so many like little faction group type thingamajiggers that like your one-on-one storylines that anybody gives a shit about that you can really expand upon in the middle of a Rumble match like that. You have like maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah.
30 people. It just doesn't work. And so that's why you have all the randomness and all the just arbitrary like, this one knocked that one out. Hey, didn't they used to be friends once? No, they faced off on NXT 7 years ago, and no one saw. And it's like just the same kind of, I don't know. It just seemed like a big jumble. They really need to do some work on the intrinsic storyline structure of the entire women's division in WWE.
Yeah.
They really have to.
They don't even.
Do they even currently have a woman writing?
Oh yeah.
Wrestling at all?
Yeah.
I'm sure they do. I just don't know who any of the fucking writers are. And I'm sure that whoever it is, their writers team aren't wrestling people, you know?
Yeah, they're up to like 12 writers now, and I think 3 of them are women. So it's not, I mean,
I'm going to have to talk to them.
Yeah.
Don't.
To me, too, it's like, why aren't you even,
wrestling.
it's like, look, we have smaller storylines for smaller, like, value of wrestler on the card. But like women's storylines just aren't even written the same way. Like they're not like just write them the same way. Like just give them. I mean, it's just give them the same weight. Like if you want them to be on this level, they can't all be Charlotte and Becky. Like those are the only 2 people that you ever actually put like a long-term legitimate storyline that culminates to some kind of end. Like everybody else just kind of gets a week run here or maybe just 2 weeks leading up to a pay-per-view or whatever. But it's like, I don't know. It's like they have a completely different format. It's like they're booking like dramas for the men's and like sitcoms for the women's. It's like there's totally different layouts of how they write their storylines. It's so weird.
There's nothing to sink your teeth. Like,
yeah.
I really hope that with Beth coming back and doing that spot in the beginning means that now that Edge is finished like filming being a god, that hopefully they'll come back together. And it could be a really great. I would love to see Rhea and Beth go toe to toe in the ring, and really build on that like story. I think it makes sense. She's a strong lady, and it would be cool because you got to have a legend put you over to really solidify things, and I think that's who it should be.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they'll probably do like a mixed tag at Elimination Chamber or something along those lines. Like I was thinking Mania, and for a second, that's why I thought that they had injured Rhea previous to the Rumble. There's like they're going to injure her and have her come out as number 1, so there's a good reason that she doesn't win, and then it'll be mixed tag at Mania. But now clearly that's not happening. But I mean, I'm sure that they probably get that program in somewhere.
Yeah,
it just makes sense.
I was really hoping she was going to be in both. I wanted her in the men's Rumble and the women's Rumble because I thought that would have been cool.
Yeah. I mean, that would...
she could have took Ray's spot.
I genuinely think... think that they are going to keep the China spot. Like, that's going to be... Like, no one will ever be in the men's Rumble. Like, it would... Like, China will have the one spot. That's it.
Well, Beth already did.
Oh, Beth. Yeah. That's... Yeah.
Because that would even make the feud, like, that would have, like, done something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just don't think that they're going to... I don't think they're going to do that again. Also, too, but it's like, you don't want to take... Like, we were just talking about, like, you don't want to take too much weight away from the women's division. Like, honestly, they just need more people like Rhea and Beth. And, like, they need more people that have, like characters that you want to know more about. Characters that you want to invest in. You know what I mean?
Well, you also look at things like the people that they're giving cross-promotional opportunities to. Like Zelina Vega announces that she's a commentator for the Street Fighter 6 online play stuff or whatever, and comes out in Street Fighter cosplay, which makes the most sense in the fucking world. However, on screen, they're not even using her as a competitor most of the time. She's a fucking mouthpiece for Legado del Fantasma, the tag team division of which loses all the fucking time. Santos Escobar is a hoss, but like the size and the way that they're using him is only going to go so far on that card. So her as his mouthpiece isn't going to elevate that any farther.
No, I agree.
So until she's seen as a legitimate competitor, then it's still not going to matter.
I agree. And I thought the little Xia Li show off and they were trying to do like almost Street Fighter type moves was a little too on the nose there. A little too cheese there.
Yeah.
You're not Kenny Omega. You can't do the Hadouken. It just doesn't work.
Yeah.
They gotta make their gifts, man.
I mean, it's no New Day wheelbarrow butt spank thing.
That was great, by the way.
Nice.
Fucking fantastic.
Yeah, that was nice. I love how like they started like to square off and like circle each other, and you can see everyone in the crowd like, no, we don't want to see this. We have no desire to see this. Like, and they played it perfectly. They played it absolutely perfectly. I thought it was really well done.
But yeah, overall, Women's Rumble I think was, I mean, it wasn't bad. And out of the Women's Rumbles, I'm not going to say, I don't guess I'd say it's the best one, but I don't think it's the worst one. So it's just right in the middle there.
That's all right. It was all right.
Not too bad at all. Let's get to the main event here. Let's talk about it. It's Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens here. It's just Sami Zayn and Paul Heyman out at ringside. They got 20 minutes, so pretty much a standard pay-per-view match. I mean, I was underwhelmed by the actual wrestling match, and I thought it was going to be a banger.
That really did not matter because the match itself was all right, but they got almost
it was all right.
the same amount of time afterwards for like the fucking storyline, which would really matter.
Yeah, they had. I mean, they got. Yeah, I will say that the end. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I thought they booked it really well. I thought it was booked perfectly. If it's gonna end, I think that's a great way to end it. I think it's I think you need to get the bloodline, the other members of the bloodline involved in the Sami Zayn situation at Mania. I don't know. I really like the idea too of like kind of splitting the Usos. I think that's really cool. I mean, maybe he'll double cross him, maybe he won't, but I like that there's an interest there and there are possibilities that continue to grow. I think to this day, it only made the entire storyline more interesting to me. You see what I'm saying?
Jay and Sammy, a new tag team?
Yes. God, how good would that be?
Sammy did help him retain the titles on Raw.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, that is the big question, right? Like, Usos split. What happens with the tag belts? Is Sammy involved in that scene? My one thing about it, I loved it. I thought the way they did it was perfect. I think that if this was on any other show leading into Mania or whatever, or any other show leading into anything really, I thought it was expertly done. I really feel like they're burning the shit out of all of their storylines, though, at one time.
Yeah. Well, they have to. I mean, they're leading into Mania, and that's it. It's a whole fresh start after this.
It's just one of those things where I'm like, man, if you're going to burn the Sammy thing and now everybody wants to see Sammy Roman and everybody's going to be thirsty for that fucking shit. But at the same time, Cody Roman's obviously what we're getting, and they've already said Roman's only wrestling.
Elimination Chamber. They've already pretty much said it's going to be Sammy and Roman at Elimination Chamber, so we at least get that.
Yeah, but then we know what happens there. You know what I mean? Like,
but the match, as long as the match is great.
He's got 2 belts.
Well,
so
that
before
is
we
true.
know it, they
that
can book separate belts before Mania happens, is all I'm saying.
I just don't. I don't think they're going to. I think at this juncture, the way that they've hyped this up,
and you can't have Roman Reigns do the job to Sami Zayn right before Mania and Cody Rhodes. You can't. You can't.
It's not gonna. That's just not.
You absolutely cannot.
Maybe we have Roman lose by like disqualification or something by Jay.
Absolutely not.
And then they become a new tag team. Like, you know what I mean?
He will get a definitive win over Sami Zayn. He will get a definitive beat the shit out of him, give as much sympathy as you can to Sami Zayn to keep him from being buried. I mean, it's going to be rough. Like, honestly,
Jay turns on Roman and hits him with a chair.
There might be blood. I wouldn't put it past him.
So, like, the thing that I Humble Wrestling tweeted that Jay had to fall in line. He didn't have a choice.
Right.
And that he saw Sammy do what he couldn't.
Yeah.
Right. And that probably hurt, and it was cinematic as fuck, and it was beautiful.
Oh,
and like
perfectly acted.
It kind of triggered me a little bit because, like, I'm not a huge Roman Reigns fan, but the way that he was talking to them through that, like, he played an abusive boyfriend really, like, a little too well. Like, it was seriously like gaslighting, city,
so good,
abusive boyfriend shit. I was like, I was like, you know, like, don't do that and pull out handcuffs, my guy. Like, we can't. Like,
yeah, I mean, yeah. I thought it was, I think it's fantastic, man. And also too, like, listen, like I completely agree with what you're saying, Jesse, as far as like, it feels like they're burning a lot, like all their storylines at one time, but I'm almost feeling like this could be a revolution. Like this could be an end of like we could be seeing the birth of a new era. Like Cody Rhodes wins and Roman's just gone. And then the bloodline is like started back up with just Heyman. And it becomes like a second version of DX and Shawn's gone. You know what I'm saying? Like Roman's gone. Like he's just gone. Like he's gone, goes to Hollywood, whatever. Like Cody Rhodes era starts. The new, like an old school WWE, chase the babyface. Give me a Hulk Hogan, give me a Cena, make him super over babyface, put him on Good Morning America, every good guy thing you can possibly do, and then just feed that man heels. Just feed him heels. Like that's
and I feel like Solo Sikoa will be like the new like leader of the bloodline.
Yeah. I think it'll just be Heyman. And
they need to bring in fucking Jacob Fatu.
Yes, agreed.
Boom.
Agreed. They have so many options. They have so many, like a lot. Like the bloodline's not done. There's too much money there. Like Roman might be done, but I really think if they play this right, this can be a DX 2.0 version. It could even be possibly better than the Roman Reigns version. It's very possible.
Bring in Nia Jax.
Yeah, maybe they'll bring in Nia. Yeah.
My idea is like Roman.
Just have her be a heater. Don't even wrestle.
Has a vacation, right? So Roman's gone. He's living it up, resting after his whole thing.
Earned it after
and
3 years as champ.
Right. So Nia's coming in. Why? And I mean, Heyman could put fucking anybody over. So, like, what if part of the bloodline story flips over to the women's side, and then you have, like, a Judgment Day versus the bloodline story where Rhea and fucking Nia just beat the shit out of each other all the time? Like, that's something that I would get invested in. That's what I would like to see. I would like to see a woman sit at the goddamn head of the table.
That'd be cool.
Hey, and we got The Rock's daughter in NXT. She could be coming up soon.
Yep.
Yes, please, God, make that happen.
Yep.
Very true, very true. I mean, shit, they already have the honorary Oos. It's not as though they couldn't tap another person with a clever enough storyline.
Or just make Sammy the leader.
Yeah.
Roman's gone.
Oh my
Sammy's
God,
just the leader.
That would be insane.
Insane.
If the eventual actual
those
feud was like Roman coming back and Sammy leading the bloodline, like that's where the long-term storytelling would be beneficial for this kind of thing to be burned. Especially
that would be so good, guys. That would be so good. Like I'm salivating.
Sammy's the leader.
That would be so good.
Hypothetically,
Sammy leads it for like a year, then Roman comes back.
Let's say Owens is brought in. Let's say it's like a hybrid bloodline thing.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
DX that son of a bitch. DX it. Add more people. Yes.
Think it makes sense. And I mean, I do think that after Mania, like Cody takes it and Roman's out for a good long while.
Long time. As he should be. I mean, if like we're talking about character stuff here, but like, dude, as a man, Roman Reigns has literally carried that company on his back since the pandemic. Since there was no one in there, it has been the Roman Reigns show. And I mean, we've argued about it on this show for over the past 3 years, but I've adamantly said he is the best thing. I'm not saying that it was great TV all those 3 years, but he was easily the best thing on the television for all of their programming. The Roman Reigns thing was the most interesting thing week in and week out, period. Sami Zayn put it way over the top. I mean, again, like this Sami Zayn bloodline thing, like this is era long. Like this is something that we're going to remember as a storyline the same way we remember Stone Cold and The Rock and like that kind of shit. Like this is iconic. Like
it's this little kids generation's attitude era.
Yes, 1,000%. The bloodline era is an attitude era for a younger generation.
That's
absolutely
crazy. Like since the pandemic, 2/3 of the Shield have been like carrying the fucking wrestling on their backs.
All of the Shield, bro. All
Rollins has become
otherworldly. He's almost Piper level now too. It's like at this point, like he can win the title again, but he definitely does not need the title to be a main event guy ever again.
Yeah, all of them by themselves in the past
Logan
3
Paul.
years have definitely become the best versions of themselves.
Yes, easily. Like all 3 home runs.
I used to hate Dean Ambrose, but like Moxley, I can like it's acceptable to me. I don't fucking hate it anymore.
See, and it's just a style. Like I just don't like his style, but I've said that 1,000 times too. Like I don't like his style, but I get it. I understand why people like him. It's just not for me, but he is definitely better now than he's ever been before. That's true.
Yeah, and then Rollins has been the one that I've always liked, but this version of Rollins is just like so good.
God level.
Yes.
It's so
I love
good.
the man's man. Keep wearing her clothes. Keep borrowing outfits out of Becky's closet.
Hey, the
So
cowboy gimmick was great.
I love it. I love the ambiguity. I love the line that he walks. I absolutely adore it. He's like the Harry Styles of WWE, and I'm here for it. I'm totally into it. I'm all about it.
Commercial.
Yes, it's so, everything about like, dude. Rollins is quickly inching his way into my top 5 favorite wrestlers of all time. Like, it's crazy. That dude is. And what's crazy too is like, he's going to have a match at WrestleMania, the biggest WrestleMania, with a fucking YouTube star. And it's probably going to be bell to bell, which is even crazier to say out loud, the best match of the night. Bell to bell. That's insane. That's insane.
It's true.
Did you see that little promo he cut on CM Punk?
Yes. Oh, thank
and
you.
That was 100% like real
but you
deal.
know what? Guess what? It's also absolute business genius, because if he gets signed, for any reason, the very first person they're going to is Seth Rollins. The very first person they're going to. And you can't tell me if Uncle Paul Levesque decides to sign CM Punk again for some weird reason, if it happens, you think Rollins is going to say no? I'm not going to work with him. Absolutely,
it's that old Bill Watts sign.
Absolutely,
personal problems create cash.
Yes, he's a genius. I love Rollins. Love it.
Yeah. Let's be honest. I think Rollins could get a banger out of Punk still too.
Definitely. If anybody can, it's the only 2 people on earth is Kenny Omega and Seth Rollins, in my opinion.
Yep.
2
of the fucking best wrestlers out there.
Mm-hmm.
The outfit that Rollins came in with that cowboy hat.
Yeah, that was
and
cowboy gimmick was sick.
So hilarious. I saw somebody say there was like a photo, like a meme or whatever, and was like, when you have to run to BNA after your Nashville bachelorette party. I laughed
so good.
so hard.
Good. Dude, did you hear the 2K rumor about him too? They're gonna set a record. He's gonna have the most like outfits ever in a wrestling video game. He's right now the guesstimated number is 16 different outfit changes that you'll have for Seth Rollins, which I think is genius to me. Like that's the best way to like.
That's amazing.
So good. Yeah, I love it. I'm super excited about it, man. This show. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna go ahead and say my top 5 like things that I'm looking forward to and got from this Royal Rumble, and then we'll kind of go around. Number 5 for me is Seth Rollins and Logan Paul. I mean, that's going to be, it might be my number 1 favorite match, but like I'm invested in other stories at Mania. So like to me, bell to bell, that's going to be incredible. The number 4 thing is I'm a little skeptical about it, but we touched on it, is Gunther. I really hope that they use this to really kind of re-elevate the IC title. I really hope they don't drop the ball and put him on some opening match on the first night of Mania against Ricochet or something. You know what I mean? Like, and no shade on Ricochet, they just haven't booked him well, but it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like he needs something with some meat, and they need to give him at least 10 to 15 minutes at Mania minimum. That's where I'm at with that. The number 3 thing, I think, and this is my only downer thing, I think it's time for the New Day to stop. I think it's time to retire the New Day. I think that it's time to they've had probably the best faction run of all time. And I think, especially for baby faces, best faction babyface run of all time. You know, he's not coming back. It's looking more and more like that's not going to happen. And I think it's, you know, Kofi's had a hell of a run. Woods has still got so many other options as far as like a media personality. I think he could become like a mainstream media guy at some point. I think that'd be awesome. But anyway, New Day, they're done. Number 2 for me is is Sami Zayn and the Bloodline. That whole angle, I really hope they don't just dissolve the Bloodline. I hope they continue it, use that like as a train to evolve the storyline. And then obviously number one is just Cody Rhodes and the storybook ending. I know it's being written like a Disney story, and I can understand why that turns off a lot of wrestling fans. But to me, again, like I said, like predictable is not always bad. Like I really hope they just do this the right way. Give him and Roman 30 minutes at Mania, and he gets a clean win. 1, 2, 3, confetti, fireworks, the whole thing. The Cody Rhodes era is here. That's what I want to see. Those are my top 5 things of Rumble leading to Mania. That's how I'm feeling about it. Miss Jessica, where are your top 5? Where are you at?
Okay, so what I would really like to see, like, are we like into WrestleMania into the next season?
Just overall, just top 5 things on your head about Royal Rumble, Mania, everything.
I think it's going to be Bianca and Asuka going, and
like
so that Bianca can get a damn vacation. She deserves one. I think with the heel turn with the murder clown, I think that would really bring some like fresh life into Asuka. So I'm really hoping that becomes a thing. I like that. I'm excited to see Charlotte versus Rhea because it's a tie back to WrestleMania 36. You know, kind of some unfinished business because she had to go get her boob job and stuff like that. So I think that would be cool to see how that's going to happen. I want to see Judgment Day dissolve. I would like to see like this be the year of the end of factions for a while because it's been really faction heavy, and I think it would be really cool to have like split off and have like a Dom and Rhea versus like a Beth and Edge. I feel like that would be like a really intricate storyline where it could still involve Rey Mysterio because of all the history. But I'm otherwise like at some point Judgment Day is going to hold Rhea back because she's literally carrying them on her backs.
Right.
And then Dom needs something a little bit more to like really push him to the edge.
Agreed. Hope we see Christian too.
I want to see more of Piper.
Yeah.
I want to see
great showing, by the way.
Huh?
Great showing. Like she had a good showing in the match.
It was amazing. Her energy, her crowd, her work. I mean, like I was blown away. Like I have never been so excited to see a body shape like mine actually fucking kick ass in the ring. I mean, she was moving. And then like literally to go back to Nia, Piper is everything that I wanted Nia to be.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it's like with Nia, I don't really think we need her other than Rhea had to lift something to like show how strong she is, you know? And like that was cool. I liked that spot. I hope something like that continues. I want more meaty ma'ams bumping meats,
slapping meats
in the ring.
Yeah.
Slapping meats.
I love it. I think I found your nickname, your moniker here. You're going to be the voice of the voice of the vaginal perspective.
Oh, I do have one of those.
You do, and I feel like you bring a lot more insight to the women's division. I enjoy it on the show.
Thank you. But yeah, I want more women. I want them to be booked like the men. They are just as strong.
Agreed.
They are just as capable. And I really want this Bailey and Becky thing to be over because now they're like the cool thing is like I don't need you to like go after the man. I don't need soap opera. Like the right kind of soap opera was the fucking Scorsese like Days of Our Lives bloodline section. I don't need these two girls like reality TV arguing with each other.
Right.
Like
you don't need the housewives
same energy.
on WWE, right?
Same energy for next wrestling season, please.
All right, Jesse, what's your bullet points, your top 5 from Rumble leading into Mania? What you want to see? How you feeling?
I'd say, probably my number 5. I obviously love seeing Rhea win. I like the way they booked it. Heartel apparently dislocated a shoulder at some point during the match or something, or a knee or something like that. There was something that was injured, but that eventually got like popped back in. So that was interesting. She was a little cut up after the match too, if you noticed. But It was a good showing, I thought, for being, going the distance, and the right person won. I think her and Charlotte, that's going to be an interesting build. Yeah. That's why I'm curious about it, because I know they have their past and whatnot, but if you look at where Rhea is and where Charlotte is in terms of what they're doing as characters, that's going to be something that's going to be I'm curious how they play that out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that you could do there, but it's also very far apart at the moment. Number 4 for me, just the breakup of the bloodline leads into, I'm hoping that they do some alterations with the tag division, just because there are a lot of pretty capable tag teams and a lot of people that I think could make sense. I hope to God they separate those titles, because it's kind of just redundant to see the same teams over and over and over again. But I do think that there are a lot of people that I could see being in good tag team matches on a regular basis. Obviously, Homies and the Good Brothers, AJ's out. Let's get some fucking gold on them dudes and get them on TV every week. You know what I mean? I want to see them. I want to see that kind of thing defended, and I want to see.
Damn, I forgot they were even in WWE at this point.
Well, because AJ got hurt, and they've been in poker games and shit. They haven't really been on,
Yeah.
So it's hard to showcase them outside of the storylines that we're playing, because AJ got injured. But there's a bunch of other things, a bunch of other tag teams that make sense for that. I think that it could be really cool to see those belts get defended on a more consistent basis, and just make the tag team thing make it matter again. Hell, like, you don't even have to. You could unify the titles, but make it one set. If you're gonna go that way, go that way.
I agree.
The 3 for me, I like seeing the progression of Dominic. I thought that the storyline involving Dominic really stood out, like, throughout different aspects of the show, and it made a lot of sense just with everything else going on. He's becoming a much better in-ring performer, and I really kind of honestly think, like, this time, I've said it before, but I do think, like, this time next year we're all going to be like, remember when that kid kind of sucked?
Yeah. No, he's going to be great. He's going to be great. Yeah.
2 for me, Sami fucking Zayn. Like, it's like the man with no land in a way at this point, because he, like, the most over storyline and the biggest, most important role in the entirety of the show is a guy who didn't have a match.
Yeah.
And is not going to be in the main event picture at WrestleMania. We know those 2 things.
Yeah.
That's pretty intense if you think about it.
Yeah.
And
it's impressive. It's impressive too. Yeah.
It's impressive, but it's also something that could make it very easily slip through the cracks if they're not careful. And this is one of those things where it's kind of like that explosive burst of energy that you get when you're in the gym and you're doing a lifting thing. You have to capitalize on that shit right then. And if they somehow manage not to do that, it doesn't happen again. This is a once in a career boost. And if it's not kind of like catered to, then unfortunately I think that it's gone. But number 1 for me, honestly, was looking at the landscape of the main event situation in WWE and looking at the final 4 participants of the Royal Rumble. Like, Logan Paul doesn't really count, but obviously for them, that's a huge cross-platform thing in terms of having him involved and, outside of the regular wrestling spectrum and all that fun stuff. But Austin Theory, Gunther, and Cody. And if you really look at all 3, Cody is a babyface, the likes of which they have not had in fucking forever.
Yeah.
Gunther is a powerhouse that they clearly believe in, or else they wouldn't have put him in that spot. And he could definitely change the landscape of a lot of main event stuff in the future. He could develop into I'm not saying anybody is like Brock Lesnar, but I'm saying if you want somebody that's in a role of an intimidating, heelish, believable badass to put in any main event role, Gunther can fucking do it. And then Theory, I gotta say, it's coming together more and more the more I see him. I mean, like, he is coming across as a more mature performer every week. You can see the growth.
Yeah.
So to me, that looks good for the future of WWE is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. Wex, where you at? Top 5, like, things you're excited about.
All right. One thing that I think will actually work that I think is pretty cool is the tag team of Braun Strowman and Ricochet. I love a good classic big man, little guy tag team. And I feel like just the whole thing with him hating the indie guys and flippity doodles, I think it could work. And both of them don't really have any direction.
Yeah.
I think it could be a pretty solid tag team. It could be a little boost to the division, especially if they split the belts up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, between the power and the athletic ability.
Cool.
Yeah. I think that'd be cool. I think they could come up with some really cool double team stuff too. Some big power stuff into something super flashy. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, he could probably cut some moonsaults off his shoulders and, some cool shit.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good idea. I like that.
Probably the best thing for Braun in a long time.
Well, whatever. I don't care about that guy, but Sure.
But yeah, so going on, I'm also clearly looking forward to the whole Sami Zayn bloodline thing. That's super intriguing. I don't know. I'm pretty sure something's going to happen at the Elimination Chamber, but like we discussed earlier, there's all these possibilities for the future and stuff, and that shit's really cool. We're looking forward to that. Also, the whole Gunther thing, like, I didn't think it was going to last that long. I thought that was just like, kind of like Jesse was saying, they're building him up to be that just like powerhouse, badass motherfucker. I don't even know if he's quite like a Brock Lesnar, but like maybe even like a Randy Orton level. Just that like evil villain, like just that's well respected, not necessarily just going to whoop everybody's ass all the time, but just a badass motherfucker. Something on that level. And like I said, I've always thought Walter, Gunther, whatever you want to call him, he just has it. He's just like, has that it factor of just like an intimidating son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm looking forward to what's going on with Cody. Even though, his AEW career ended, it's because he was doing the heel stuff, but trying to portray a baby face. Now he is 100% white meat baby face to the T. Goddamn. Hulk Hogan, what they wanted Lex Luger to be with the Lex Express and shit, like he's to the T. And like just like you said, Jesse said, I think he could be that dude. He could be the real deal babyface to Karen. He could be the new Cena. He could be that guy.
Yes, I hope he does. I hope he is. I mean, I just don't think. I mean, this is not shade at AEW. I think they book heels really well, but they don't book baby faces very well. They just don't book good baby faces.
AEW doesn't. They are more. It's because it's that hardcore. There's no really baby face. No, it's kind of that little like tweener thing going on over there.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's non-traditional. WWE's your traditional Disney Channel classic.
I know. We're not going to do the HBO Disney Channel.
They're the weird, gritty. Why are you doing this format? This is weird. Type beat, but to each its own. I love both of them. You know what you're getting when you go for both of them.
Hey, one cool thing though is dude made the comment himself on Twitter, but somebody brought back the GTV and caught candid footage of old Ricky Starks.
Ricky Starks backstage with Cody.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's great.
It is fucking great. Anybody
that's a good crossover.
That would have never happened in WCW.
It's supposed to be old Goldust, who was Dustin Rhodes.
Never would have happened. You would have never seen like DDP. Like in back, even a picture taken in the back at a WrestleMania, just hanging out with a friend, and that'd been acceptable. That would have never been okay.
No,
I'm not sure that Tony Khan enjoyed that. Honestly, I
don't think he really come on now.
I mean, he couldn't have liked it. He couldn't have liked it. There's no way that's a good thing.
Sure, it is, and here's why: because everybody on fucking social media for a second sitting there talking about his guy. And if they want to know more about him, what are they going to look up?
And he is a babyface too. His alignment, like even in a kayfabe world, does actually make sense with Cody Rhodes at this point.
Not to mention Ricky Starks is based out of Texas, so it all is like a lot of it lines up. It's not like he made a special fucking flight down,
Right.
And the fact that they still acknowledge Cody as an AEW guy, like they don't like act like he doesn't exist.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Hey,
well,
Lex,
you know what?
I just want to ask, Wex, how sad were you that the Texas rattlesnake didn't come out in Texas?
Like when it got to the last three, I was like, all right, it's going to be Stone Cold, Cody, or somebody, and Stone Cold never came out. I was I wouldn't say I was super disappointed, but I didn't go there live. One of my buddies went there live, and he didn't get Stone Cold live, which was pretty shitty. All he got was the pitch black match. So,
and that horrible intermission.
And let's talk about the worst. Before we end this.
We'll wrap it up by talking about Hardy. Okay.
The worst fucking thing.
The worst Hardy.
Hardy, not Jeff, not Matt, just Hardy. He's like a bootleg Kid Rock, which is really shitty. Like, Kid Rock is already fucking horrible, and you're even. Oh my God. It was one of the worst performances I've ever seen on any WWE pay-per-view ever. Even Kid Rock and Limp Bizkit were better than that.
I don't know. Saliva was pretty bad too, though.
I forgot about Saliva. God damn it. Fuck. Yeah. God damn it. I don't want to. They're from Tennessee. I don't want to claim them, but hey, fuck.
Hey, One Of is still up there. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. No, it was rough for sure.
But Hardy was horrible, and apparently lots of people in WWE were disappointed with the performance, and hopefully we never see that goddamn motherfucker ever again.
Nah, damage is done. He got the rub that he wanted. His fans loved it.
the timing was awful. I mean, it was just god awful. Like
He's
And
everything
in the ring,
so long.
in the ring without the ropes, like why? Like just put him at the top of the stage. Like just do it like normal. Like
his country vocals were bad. His screaming vocals were bad. Like he just sucked. Like he could not sing any style.
he definitely has like not good country vocals, and then his scream is like not really a scream. It's like that butt rock. Like it's just this weird, like not. Yeah, it's weird.
What do you expect of a guy
like-
that's handpicked by Morgan Wallen? You know what I'm saying? Like you're really only gonna you're like it's a shallow well is all I'm saying.
That's true.
Do you guys remember what was that? Was it Liquid Smoke? That old like bar or whatever that a lot of like Nashville rap rockers.
Oh
would
yeah.
perform at? I feel like that's literally where you would see this guy.
Yeah.
And it was so bad, but he was also kind of like hipstery in like his like glasses and like dress. It was very weird and it was off-putting.
Sounds like a song you would hear for an entrance at a fucking shitty indie show.
Yeah.
Like
Most of the
or
WWE.
Daniel described, 4 guys came out to Down with a Sickness, and some guy would probably come out to something like that.
Yeah.
It feels like that same vibe.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
I think it's universally panned by everyone. I don't think anyone was a fan of it, and it's hilarious to me that WWE is not, because it's like, what the fuck did you think you were gonna get?
Right.
No, WWE where they I saw a report where they were like
It sucked.
they weren't happy with his performance. They
Exactly.
weren't, next time you see that guy, I'll be, 3:00 in the afternoon at the state fair.
At the state fair.
If only we could have a Mike Adamle to introduce him as Harvey.
Yeah, that would have been great. That would have been great. That would have been apropos. Well, that's going to wrap it up this week for us, guys. Thanks for joining us on our Royal Rumble review and our look towards the future. You know what? It's the road to WrestleMania. It's the most wonderful time of the year. I'm excited. We got Revolution coming up this month, too, so that'll be kind of fun. Have another AEW pay-per-view to talk about, and I'm excited about that as well. Man, lots of good stuff on the horizon. We're winding down. We got like 3 months are left. This is literally, we have 90 days left in the Kayfabe Comparisons podcast. It's going to be crazy. We're going to wrap this season up with a bang at the end of WrestleMania. It's going to be awesome. You can always find the show at KayfabeCom on Twitter and Instagram, at KayfabeCom Pod on TikTok, and good old Kayfabe Comparisons on YouTube and Facebook. You can always find me, your boy, Mr. Knowitall, Daniel John Schafer, at Daniel Daybreak, anywhere there's social media handles of any kind. I am Daniel Daybreak everywhere. Also, too, I have to use this avenue to plug. My band, The Far Between, has a brand new single. It's coming out next month. It's coming out on December 22nd, Wednesday. It's awesome. It's called Outline. I'm really excited about it. Had an amazing producer work on it. I'm really excited for the world to hear like our first actual release and not just like Bandcamp demos. So very hype about that. I will have a pre-save link here in the next week or so. So that'll probably be in the show notes and stuff. Really excited. Miss Jessica Rosenberg, where can folks find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Peggy Hillfeet, also known as the American Cream Busty Rhodes. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, busty.shackleford.
Love it. I love it. Jesse, where can folks find you, man?
On Instagram and Twitter at Jesse Baker Nash. And one thing I did notice, Daniel, you said your single came out on December 22nd. I'm assuming
February.
February?
February 22nd. My bad.
February.
Man. Good catch. Nice catch. February
What year was
22nd. Yeah.
Wexley.
Wex, so
Well,
give
you
us
can
credit.
find your boy Wex all the time, everywhere at Wex Breaking the Lawson on all of your social media platforms. Yeah, and that's pretty much all I got to say. I guess, wrestling, WrestleMania season. I'm really looking forward to it. Hope we get some good shit. I want to see some Stone Cold at WrestleMania, hopefully.
Okay.
And what a gimmick match, sponsorship match do you guys predict?
The Broken Skull Plunge, where it's just like beer, and it's I'm not gonna say it.
Oh, I thought it was going to be the Velveeta
I really wanted
fats
to
of
say
shells and cheese.
I really
around
wanted
the
to say it's a vengeance match. It's gonna be Cody Hall versus Stone Cold. That'd be something.
We'll do a melted Snickers bra and panties mud pit match.
Ooh, okay.
It'll be the Vince
Delicious.
McMahon lawsuit match sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Maybe like the adult depends where like Ric Flair comes out.
I love it. That's
Or
it.
is there going to be
This is
some
Ric Flair.
depression medicine for Ric Flair at this point?
I love it.
Viagra
Sponsored by-
stand-up match.
Sponsored by a bottomless supply of Jack Daniels. And
Blue Chew, of
and
course.
he needs Gatorade because he got dehydrated in his last match, and that's why he was laying there and couldn't get up.
Gatorade.
Gatorade,
H2O.
baby. Fruity, juicy. Oh my God, they're fruity Skittles. We need that. We need to bring that back.
Good Lord. Good Lord. All right, that's going to do it for us this week. We'll see you guys next week. We're out. Peace.
Bye.